This is ABC15 Mornings.
It's the first weekend that Arizona is open without any restrictions in about a year. The Valley doctors who are now urging people, however, to not let their guards down.
Rethinking policing when it comes to responding to mental health calls. The Valley family sharing their story of loss in the hope of helping others.
Plus the latest from the southern border as more and more migrants try to enter the United States, how Governor Ducey wants the Biden administration to take action.
And we want to say good morning to you. It is 6 o'clock now on your Saturday morning. I'm Megan Thompson. Mark Thompson, it is good to see you. Did you get any rain in your area over the last few days?
I think I did, but I probably slept through it, and it wasn't much because I don't remember seeing it, but I think there may have been some drops. As I looked out at the pool, I think I saw the water kind of flickering a little bit.
Right, exactly. Yes, some people got really lucky. I know my parents were telling me there in the East Valley that they're like, Megan, it was pouring. Weather girl, it was pouring here. You know, I said, well, Iris Hermosillo took care of you. She warned you about it. I'm also in the East Valley myself, and we did see some rain, but more like you, Mark, it really was just kind of some sprinkles out there. So I know some of us got lucky and some of it saw it, some of us not so much, but here's what we can expect into your weekend. We will be clearing out. No storm chances here in the valley today. We're actually going to warm up back to near normal temperatures after some chilly days in the 60s. Now we're looking towards the 90s. It's quite the turnaround there in that 7-day forecast. So today, if you're wondering about some errands you might be needing to do, you can wash your car. I'm going to give you the green light because those rain chances are clearing out. We don't have any in that 7-day forecast right now. At Phoenix Sky Harbor, it's 50 degrees, 63% humidity, the dew point 38, winds from the east, nada, nothing checking in. We're staying less than 5 miles per hour today, maybe around 10 miles per hour later on this afternoon. For your Valley Planner and those temperatures, here's how we get to those near normal temperatures. 50 by 8 a.m., 70 by noon, then 79 degrees by 3 p.m. I'm going to walk you through that 7-day ahead with that first 90-degree day coming our way.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. Well, it is the first weekend that Arizona is fully open. ABC 15's Ashley Paredes now with the bars and restaurants that are celebrating as a result with no restrictions in place.
The first weekend of dance clubs and bars being fully open with no restrictions.
Get out early. We've been doing stuff all day.
Events popping up in celebration, some with a clear message, like this one called F COVID, being held at Paris in Scottsdale, stating no masks, no social distancing, and full capacity. People lining up there as early as 6:30 Friday evening.
Being with people, celebrating, and no masks.
You gonna dance tonight? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
People getting a booth or table will be allowed to dance with their groups. The promoter hosting the event, Luciano Coda, saying it's been a long time coming.
To have our own government open the city and allow us to do what we do, which is, bring people together, bring people to have a good time, party, and a week of work, and then you get to finally go back to a fully open club. We haven't had that in over a year. That's probably what kind of hyped us up to go that way and go that route.
Coda saying an event he has for Sunday is already sold out, pushing many people to plan out their weekend plans early.
Excitement, relief, especially when it comes to mental health, getting back around, social, interacting with people, and just getting back to normal and living life.
Richard Schmidt saying he recently moved to Scottsdale. This will be his first time seeing it fully open.
I can't wait to go outside, see my friends, go to some new spots, check out the scene, and start living my life again. It's been a year.
Although people are celebrating, there will still be some joining, but taking precautions.
Well, I think it's just up to people. There's some people believe in COVID. There's some people that don't.
Sights we have not seen in quite some time. Meanwhile, Valley doctors, they are pleading with people to keep it up. Despite a statewide lift in restrictions, they say they have seen firsthand the toll COVID-19 has taken on so many Arizonans this year, and the Arizonans we lost. At least 6 Valley physicians say they disagree with Governor Ducey's executive order, turning COVID restrictions into recommendations and making local mask mandates unenforceable, and worry the move they call premature could send us back down the wrong path.
Just over 500,000 people in our country alone. And it's true that things are looking better the past 10 weeks, which is all the more reason we should keep doing what we're doing.
Only about 17% of Arizonans are fully vaccinated, and health officials confirm a new variant of the virus has hit Arizona. So they're still asking everyone to mask up, keep their distance, avoid crowds, even if it's no longer required by the state, and get vaccinated as soon as you can. Despite mask mandates being dropped and social distancing requirements gone, ASU deciding those measures are still needed on campus. University officials saying their protocols have served them well, adding, quote, "This is not the time to stop following public health practices." From restaurants and bars to the airport and grocery stores, you can find a full breakdown on mask requirements right now on ABC15.com.
All right, now to the border. Lawmakers crossing paths with migrants on the U.S. southern border amid more migrants trying to cross over into the United States. Republican senators now sharing these photos from inside some of those border facilities that are housing migrants. Officials say some 17,000 children making the dangerous journey alone are now in the United States. President Biden acknowledges that there is work to be done, but would not apologize for not turning kids away.
What a desperate act to have to take. The circumstances must be horrible.
Saying leaving children by themselves on the Mexican side.
The administration remains adamant that the border is closed, and the White House is denying entry to families making the trip with adults, even if they have children with them. And Governor Doug Ducey eyeing a military solution, tweeting this: he'll deploy the Arizona National Guard if the Biden administration foots the bill. The governor focusing heavily on the border recently, touring the Douglas area last Friday, and heavily criticizing Vice President Kamala Harris, who's been tapped to lead the Biden administration's response.
Before we air this next story, a warning. We want to let you know that this contains video of a real-life situation that is tragic and is hard to watch. If the topic of suicide is difficult for you to discuss or listen to, you may want to turn away for the next 4 minutes. An urgent 911 call about a teen contemplating suicide.
She was talking about how she had a gun next to her now.
Valley officers and paramedics arrive to find the girl still alive, but they fail to keep her that way. Now the girl's dad and sister share their tragedy with ABC15 investigator Melissa Blasius, hoping it will prompt local leaders to rethink policing, especially when it involves who responds to 911 calls about mental health crisis.
We've been reporting how the city of Phoenix is working on plans to send more counselors instead of cops to some 911 calls, especially those involving mental health or welfare checks. The Trojanowski family is hoping that other cities follow Phoenix's lead after their tragedy in Mesa. Now, a warning, this video may be hard to watch, especially if you know someone who died by suicide. But this family wants people to see it, hoping that others will join their calls for reform.
Come on, Sarah, let's go. 1, 2. Sarah, open the door.
A Mesa police officer and firefighter tried to get 16-year-old Sierra Trojanowski out of her bathroom. They allowed the suicidal teen to lock herself in without searching her or the room for safety.
She was just my best friend.
Sierra's dad was at work. One of her online gaming friends called 911.
She's saying how she already has her note written out, things like that. She was talking about how she had a gun next to her now.
That is what is kind of ingrained in all of our brains. Is to call the police for situations like this.
Police officers who have months of training on arresting people may have just 1 or 2 days of training on mental health responses.
They may be thinking that they're showing up as Captain America, but to the person who's answering the door, they're scared of the police officer.
Sierra's family believes the police and fire response only escalated the girl's internal crisis. Officers came knocking, calling her name, even opening an unlocked door. When it was clear they weren't going to stop until she answered, she downplayed her distress.
She closed the door right away with her laptop in there. She didn't want to.
One officer noted in his report that they tried to get 2 types of crisis teams to respond, but one did not handle juveniles, the other was not available. So the police and paramedics decided to take Sierra themselves to the hospital. But she asked to use the bathroom first.
I just wish that, well, the first that they would have checked her, or checked the bathroom.
They did not look for that gun or note the 911 caller mentioned. Sierra would not come out, which led up to the countdown.
1, 2. Sarah, open the door. Damn it.
Sierra shot herself. A short time later, police were able to get a hold of her dad and told him to go to the hospital.
I saw some blood down her right side, and I collapsed. They were able to keep her alive for several days, and I sat with her the whole time.
The Trojanowskis sued the city of Mesa. While they reached a settlement last month, the family says it's not about the money.
I care about other kids.
They could not save Sierra, but the Trojanowskis hope to save other families from their grief.
I do think that if somebody who was more trained to deal with situations like this, or like what happened to my sister, that the outcome would have been different.
Mesa police tell ABC15, when a tragedy like this occurs, we always take a look at the policies and procedures. Since Sierra's death, Mesa's crisis response team has grown from 4 to 8 people, and they added a full-time clinician. The Trojanowskis hope that community leaders will join their calls for more resources in Mesa and other cities, so that when someone calls 911 for a welfare check, that an expert in social services will respond with or instead of a police officer. The family also believes that people who work with teens could use some more training in suicide intervention. I'm investigator Melissa Blasius, ABC 15 Arizona.
What an important story, but definitely something that we just are heartbroken for that family. If you are struggling with thoughts of suicide or worried about a friend or loved one, help is available. Never forget that. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. You can also text 741-741 for free confidential emotional support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. After a year of Zoom calls, many of us may start to experience social anxiety as things start to return to normal. This morning, an expert shares tips for coping. Plus, are you ready to roll up your sleeve? The COVID vaccine appointments, they're still available. We'll tell you how you can get one.
Now to violent storms ripping across the South. At least 23 reported tornadoes in 3 states. Terrible scenes of destructions. Homes turned to rubble, and this church ripped apart, the steeple laying on the ground. At least 6 people were killed. One tornado possibly carrying a 100-mile path of destruction across Alabama. Right now, some 45 million people in the storm zone there. Really starting to try and pick up the pieces, Megan.
Absolutely devastating images, and we are thinking of them this morning, and it really puts things into perspective for us. That 120-degree day, maybe it's not so bad, but we do want to keep in mind heat can kill here too. So we have to watch that most accurate forecast in different ways. Right now, though, our temperatures, they're looking really good, and they will continue to be today. That warm up, though, is coming. It's preparing us for those temperatures above 100 degrees coming maybe sooner than some of us would like. As we take a look at some of those current temperatures, 43 in Apache Junction, 42 in Santan Valley, 48 in Tempe, 47 in Glendale, and 46 degrees in Goodyear, 48 for you in Surprise. For your Valley planner, we'll stay in the 40s through about 7 a.m. and then we'll get into the upper 50s by 9 a.m., 59 then. 67 degrees by 11 a.m. and then 73 degrees right around 1 p.m. We'll climb a little bit more from there to 79 by 3 p.m. That's the high that we are tracking today. Now, if you're looking at those temperatures and it looks really appealing, the only thing I want to warn you about is the pollen count. We're in the red over the next few days for those main allergens, mulberry, ash, and poplar. Around Arizona, Flagstaff 49 degrees the high today with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Sedona and Show Low also seeing those gusts around 20 to 25 miles per hour, and mostly that sunshine like Sedona, 64 the high for you. Show Low, you're starting out with some fog this morning after those storms are trying to clear out of our state. Then sunshine will come your way, 53 the high for you. So that storm is moving out. That brought us some valley rain and snow to the high country in the eastern parts of our state, but high pressure is coming and building. We also seeing a storm system to our north right around Tuesday into Wednesday. It doesn't look like it's going to break into Arizona, but it is going to give us a little bit of relief in those temperatures in the middle of this warm up. So 79 today, 86 tomorrow, near 90 degrees on Monday. We're tracking when we could hit our first 90-degree day. 86 on Tuesday. That's when that storm system moves in, and even though we should be climbing, we're actually just going to drop a little bit, and then we'll warm up again on Wednesday to 88 degrees. 93 degrees is what we're tracking on Thursday for a high. Friday also in the 90s, 93 degrees with those overnight lows in the upper 50s and 60s for us, Mark.
All right, Megan, thank you. Well, as more people get vaccinated for COVID-19, we're going to be starting to see more gatherings of people together. But psychologists say that could have others feeling anxious. ABC 15's Jamie Warren now with what some of those doctors are saying may help you get through.
Well, it has been a while since we've all attended a normal sporting event. Maybe you eased into things by going to a spring training game, or better yet, maybe starting tomorrow when tickets go on sale here at Chase Field, you have plans on attending an Arizona Diamondbacks game. And while you may want to check it out, experts say it is very normal to have some hesitancy or a heightened sense of social anxiety just being around people again. A recent survey by the American Psychological Association finds 49% of adults reported feeling uncomfortable about returning to in-person interactions. Even those who've received the vaccine reported feeling uneasy about it. Chris Segrin is a behavioral scientist at the University of Arizona. He says it is very normal to feel this way because many of us are out of practice when it comes to interacting with one another, and it's best to start off slow.
And begin with some easy targets. So when people get back to socializing, don't go to a party with a group of strangers. Meet up with a friend or a family member who you've maybe been separated with for a while, 2 or 3 of you in a small group, people who you already know well. Those will be more comfortable and easier interactions to kind of build up to.
Okay, so what about kids? We know that they too can be feeling some social anxiety, especially a year after Zoom calls. He says talk to them about being safe, but also explain that things are getting better and maybe ease them back into things with a few one-on-one play dates. In Phoenix, I'm Jamie Warren, ABC 15, Arizona.
Jamie, thank you. 2 airlines are giving customers extra time to use their flight vouchers. United and American have extended the deadline to use flight credits until 2022. Although air travel is starting to pick back up, it's still far below pre-pandemic levels. American and United join several other airlines with credit deadlines into next year, like Delta, Southwest, and JetBlue. What does the future hold for Dreamers, the bill that could finally clear up the immigration status? Plus, the 10-year-old girl from Arizona sharing her story before Congress to fight for change and help kids get the medical treatment they need.
Watch ABC 15 Arizona on your schedule. Stream the latest news and weather by searching ABC 15 on Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome back. At the Capitol, a 10-year-old is taking action to give children like her a win against insurance companies. As our own Adam Waltz shows us, she's testifying in front of Arizona lawmakers, sharing her story to try and get a new bill passed.
At 10 years old, Cassidy Middleton spent the last year learning and dancing at home, horseback riding, and testifying to Congress.
Good morning, Chairman Bartow and the members of the Senate Human Health Services Committee. Scared and excited at the same time.
In 2014, Cassidy was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis.
Sometimes it feels like somebody's hitting me or punching me.
Sometimes her arthritis is so bad, she needs a wheelchair.
Juvenile arthritis is actually an autoimmune disease, so it's her body attacking joints thinking that it's disease.
In February, Cassidy sharing her story with members of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee in favor of SB 1270 regarding step therapy, an insurance company process forcing patients to try less expensive medications first, and if those don't work, patients step up to the next medication. For example,
we were supposed to start with Humira, and the insurance company moved us to a different drug called Enbrel because it was cheaper.
At times, it can be less expensive. In Cassidy's case, she's forced to fail upwards on other medications before receiving the actual medicine her doctor prescribes,
allowing me my disease to spiral out of control.
Senate Bill 1270 would require insurance companies to allow for exemptions to step therapy protocols for patients, meaning if Cassidy is prescribed a medication, insurance can't say no because it costs more.
It's not enough to justify my insurance making a medical decision.
Having to fail first when they've already tried a similar drug can be really detrimental to their health.
Cassidy's testimony was well received, especially by Senator Nancy Bartow, the primary sponsor of SB 1270.
She's just been a trooper. She really has. It's hard to say no to a child when they are so well spoken and they've got a personal story that just pretty much tells the story.
In the Arizona Senate, only yeses as the bill passed unanimously. It is currently in the House of Representatives awaiting a vote. Cassidy's testimony a show of courage, speaking up for those who can't themselves.
And put guardrails on step therapy for kids and adults just like me.
Cassidy's message to others?
Never ever give up.
Adam Waltz, ABC 15, Arizona.
Adam, thank you. 626, the Arizona Department of Health now backtracking after refusing to work with FEMA to set up another vaccination site. And how a troop of Girl Scouts from Tempe is giving back to the healthcare workers on the front lines of the pandemic. It's coming up.